I lost at the game of dating for the first 19 years of my life. I didn't know how to talk to girls, didn't know how to make a move. I was constantly clueless, scared, anxious, and this quickly let me get heartbroken when I was 19. And then after this, I developed into someone who is extremely confident, knowledgeable, self-assured, and is able to travel the world, going anywhere, talking to girls with ease, sleeping with them, dating them. I can do it all because of what I'm about to teach you in this video. And we're going to be going over how to win the game of dating as a man. That's what this video is all about. I'm going to be teaching you the exact steps that I took to become the man I am today. The first thing we're going to go into is that you need to treat dating like a skill. So no one starts off amazing at a new skill that they're trying to learn. Even if you're just getting started or you've been doing it a little bit on and off, if you truly want to get great, you're going to make mistakes. You're not going to be amazing when you first start. Now let's take piano, for example. I don't know how to play piano. If I go over to the piano and I try and play, I'm going to suck. I'm going to click some buttons and I'm not going to know what the fuck I'm doing and it's going to sound terrible. But if I got piano lessons, I watched YouTube videos, I practiced every single day, on a long enough time frame, I would start to get good at piano. And dating is the exact same thing. So the next thing that you need to understand is you need to have the right mindset in order to succeed with developing the skill. This is absolutely essential. So I'm going to go into my 3 mindset shifts that are going to help you actually develop this skill through all the difficult times, the adversity, the setbacks. So let's start with the first one. Every experience, good or bad, helps you grow and get better at the skill. See, I've had a lot of good experiences, but I've had just as many or even more bad experiences, which I potentially learned even more from. Because a lot of the time the success, they say success doesn't teach you. Success does teach you a lot. So it will help teach you when you have success. But the failures also taught me even more what not to do, what mistakes I made. These are the things that allowed me to get so good, is failing so many times. I failed forward until I just learned. So the good and the bad helps you grow. You cannot avoid the bad. It's inevitable. If you want to get good at something, you're going to have to deal with the bad that comes along too. So next, you have unlimited tries. No one girl is special. You need to get one-itis out of your head. If you're one of those guys, like I was in high school, who's sitting there thinking about one specific girl, about the life that you're going to have together, how she's going to be your girlfriend, get that shit out of your head right now. Because that is the enemy. That is going to make you nervous, overthink things. I don't even think the girl is the one who I'll be sleeping with for some time. Like, no one girl is special. You have literally unlimited hot girls in this world. There is so many attractive girls, and the competition with men is getting worse and worse because everyone's getting lazier and lazier. If you're someone who watches this channel, you're learning how to develop the skills necessary to get girls, and you're improving yourself. Doing something like this is helping you get closer to that goal. You are increasing your competitiveness as a man, and you're going to be able to get the hot girls if you put in the work. So, you have unlimited tries. If you fail 10 times in a row, that's nothing. That is nothing. You can fail 100 times, 1,000 times, but that 1,001 might just get you the baddest girl ever, and then you'll be so proud of yourself for having tried that many times. And now, the last thing you understand is that if you fail, the girl doesn't care. There has been so many times when I've literally had a good conversation with a girl, went out to the club a week or 2 later, saw her, and she didn't even remember me. This was after a good conversation. So imagine when you go up to a girl, say hi and a couple words and things doesn't go well. This girl has so much going on in her life. She has messages full, Snap full, Instagram DMs full, talking to new guys all the time. Do you think that she really cares if you come and say hi to her and fumble your words and mess up? No. You need to just start realizing that girls are here for you to learn, to practice, and until you are good enough to get one of them, that's all it's going to be for you, is learning and practice, learning, practice. Eventually, you're going to get some of them, but right now, it doesn't matter. These girls, they don't care. The only person that cares about rejection or how this interaction goes is you. So if you can let that shit go instantly and take it as a win for doing it and developing, right? Every experience, good or bad, helps you grow. This is going to allow you to succeed. The next thing that is absolutely essential is constant skill development. So there are many sub-skills that make you good at the skill of dating. Dating is a skill, it's a broad thing, and there's many things underneath that that's going to allow you to be good at it. And number one is confidence. So how did I build confidence as a shy introvert at 19 when I got broken up with? I started to build trust in my word. I started to say I was going to do something, and I did it. I started reading every single day, meditating, gratitude journaling, and I do them now to this day, years later. That builds trust in my word. I started doing comfort zone challenges like cold approaches. That was something that really scared me, but we'll get into that in a second. These were the things that allowed me to build that initial confidence. So then when I said, okay, I think that girl is attractive, I'm going to go talk to her, I had that trust in my word to do it no matter what. And I started to do it even when I was terrible. That's the thing that you got to understand is I built the trust in my word. So now when I said something, when I had a feeling, that intuition that a lot of you guys probably get, you'll be there at the gym, you'll see a hot girl, and you'll get that feeling that like, oh, I want to go talk to her. I want to. That's you. That's your intuition. You want to go talk to her, and then your mind gives you excuses. When I said that, when my mind said I want to go talk to her, trust in my word. Go do it right now is the next thing I was thinking. Okay, go do it right now. That's what you want to do. You said it. You said you want to go talk to her. Go talk to her. I made the commitment in my mind. I said, I'm going to go talk to her. If I felt that feeling, I would make the commitment. And then I went and did it because I had that trust in my word. Now, if you want to have my full confidence transformation guide that allowed me to become the man I am today from a shy, insecure geek when I was younger, it's completely free. It's the first thing in the description below. You can grab that now. Next, courage. This is something that is so important. I can't explain how important this is. This is doing things that scare you consistently. So for me, with dating, this was cold approaches. Going on dates. Yes, I was terrified to go on dates. The first girl that broke my heart at 19, I literally had anxiety the first 5 times I saw her, to the point where I couldn't eat. That is where I came from. A lot of you guys watch this channel, you see me now, but I was at the point where I was so scared that I couldn't eat because I was going on a date with a girl. That's where my starting point was. So courage is doing the things that scare you. I was just in Norway, and when I showed up after being at home when my family's home in Florida, comfortable, I was going out a little bit and hanging out with some friends, but I really hadn't pushed my comfort zone that much. I show up to Norway by myself, new city, knowing absolutely no one. I felt a little scared that first weekend. I ate a little less than normal. I was having some anxiety, but within 2 days of just continuing to do the exact same thing I would do normally, going out, meeting people, starting conversations, adding girls from Tinder, talking to them, trying to set up dates, within 2 days, I was back to my normal self. But I wouldn't be able to have this level of courage if it didn't start with the small things. You level these things up. And this is not just going to help you with girls. This is going to make you a savage in life. If you have courage and you go through life courageous, always just doing things that scare you and pushing your comfort zone constantly, just watch how your life changes. Lastly, communication. So important. I took on sales jobs, so I built that trust in my word, right? I was having some successful girls at this point, maybe like 6-8 months later from that breakup. And I said, well, let me try making some money. I really didn't make money at this point. So I said, okay, let me pick up a sales job. Sales is going to teach me a valuable skill that's going to help me with getting girls, help me make money. It's going to be essential in life. So I was terrible at sales. Just like when we go back to skill development. My first sales job, I didn't get a single sale. I took a mentorship. I read some books, came back a year later. I actually started making sales. My next job actually started to make some decent money, about like 2K a week-ish, 2K a week here or there. It was okay. And then eventually started my own high-ticket sales mentorship business that made me 10K a month. That's what it's all about, learning skills. Sales is a skill that ties into dating as well, though. So I also read books. Every single book I read is self-development focused, learning sales, communication, self-image, confidence, all of it. This is essential. Learning, executing. This is the process that's going to allow you to get better. Now, learning from approaches. So this is probably one of the most important ones. Back to the first slide is, understanding this is a skill. You got to actually go out there and do this. I was approaching girls all of the time when I first got started. So when I went to Sweden when I was 20, after a little bit of development and getting myself to a really good place mentally, I was the best place I'd ever been after that breakup. I went to Sweden by myself for 5 weeks, started talking to every single guy that I thought was cool and every single girl I found attractive. And guess what happened by the end of it? I had a bunch of friends that I still have to this day, and I slept with 7 girls. So that's what can happen if you just commit to everything I'm teaching you here. So I was learning from every experience though, and this continued. So when I went back to Florida, I went to the beach and I was actually scared. I was terrified at the beach once again. I remember seeing the first time back at the beach, I saw a very attractive blonde hair, blue-eyed girl, my type to the T, walking on the beach. I was like, oh, I like her. And I was like, I want to go talk to her. So I said, I'm going to go talk to her. And then I started feeling that anxiety. It came in because I knew I committed. I said it. And I was feeling the anxiety and I had excuses going on in my head, negative racing thoughts. And I was like, fuck. And I was getting that anxiety come up. But I just started walking in the direction that she was. It was a far walk. Eventually I got there. Didn't realize how far this was going to be. And I talked to her. It went well. I ended up sleeping with her that night. See, this is what happens when you start to follow everything that I'm teaching you here. It is all the steps, everything is required. And these are the 3 most important skills. And once again, if you haven't picked up that confidence transformation guide, it is going to change your life. Pick that up right now. Learn female nature through experience. This is the next thing you're going to need to do. There is no substitute around it. So you will never be good with girls if you don't play the field. So what you got to understand is that you need the success, the failures, the betrayals, the upsets. These all teach you things. See, betrayals, this one's going to really teach you a lot, and we're going to understand why in the next slide. But what you understand is that when you're interacting with girls, let's just say you're a coworker. You have a coworker who you talk to a little bit. There's nothing sexual there. This is a different version of that girl than if you were to meet her under different circumstances, let's say at a bar, and you were to go approach her as a new person and try and sexually attract her, right? There's 2 different versions of that same girl. The coworker is friendly and polite because she has to be. This is not you trying to you're not really learning that much about girls. But if you're sexually pursuing her, you're going to be getting such a different feel for her. She's going to be, either testing you, messing with you. She's either going to reject you. She's either going to flirt with you, and this is going to go really well. There's so much different interactions that happen when you're sexually pursuing a girl. So you need to actually be practicing this, playing the field. How are you going to know that you're good with girls if you've never been with any girls? It's like an illogical fallacy that doesn't make sense. And in today's dating marketplace, this is becoming ever more important as we go to the extremes. We're going to very far extremes. I mean, I don't even have to explain. I'm pretty sure you know. You've probably dealt with some bullshit yourself or see things online. I'm not going to go into it. But dating's getting very extreme. And if you want to be good, if you want to have a competitive advantage in the dating marketplace, play the field. And next, this one's really cool actually. When you play the field, when you have all the successes, failures, betrayals, and upsets, you're going to gain a deep intuition of girls. When I say that I can just read into someone and know them as a person, guy or girl, but we're using girls for specific here. I can just know a girl so well, so quickly. There's so many little things I can pick up on how she acts, the things she does, her behaviors and mannerisms, her nonverbal communication, the things she says, what her daily life looks like, what her habits equate to. I know everything about a person, and girls specifically, really well, just because I have this deep intuition of them that's been developed from having talked to genuinely thousands of girls at this point. I mean, you can really put it together after 3 years, going out to bars and clubs, going to the beach, going to the gym, talking to girls at all these places. It really adds up. You start to interact with so many people and you start to recognize patterns. You start to really see how girls behave. You're going to learn nonverbal communication. You're going to learn what they respond well to, what they don't. You have to be testing new things, trying, experimenting. And this is how you're going to get good. If you don't do this step, and if you don't move to the final stage, which actually is sleeping with the girl, because you might think you're good with girls. You might think that you have it in the bag. And there's a lot of times when I've tried to sleep with girls and things went wrong. And I'm talking girls that I met at the club, kissing me, all over me, touching me, everything. And I wasn't able to sleep with them. And that's something that you can actually take a lot of value from right there, understanding that you may not be as good with girls as you think you are. See, that's happened. I've also had tons of successes, but you learn a lot. You're like, oh, what the fuck happened? I thought things were going so well. This girl's kissing me, everything. Okay, why didn't she come home with me? Why did she change her mind? One girl kissed me, 5 minutes later, right in front of me, kissed some other dude. Do you see what I'm saying? You don't pick up on these things if you're not out there gaining experience. You're not going to really get the betrayals and the upsets and the true understanding of female nature if you don't. And then you're also going to see the green flags when it's just like green flag, you're just like, okay, boom, this is good, right? So that's the game. You have to be playing it to understand it at a deep level, and this is going to give you that intuition, which is just going to make you have a tactical advantage in the dating marketplace. And lastly, you learn your red and green flags, and this comes from the previous slide. You're interacting with girls, and you're going to be finding out what are your red and green flags. I now know my red and green flags, and this kind of ties into that intuition a little bit, and it all pieces together. See, it's essential if you want a good relationship. When I met my ex at 19, she was attracted to me and she liked me, and that was the green flag. That's all I could see. My vision was blurred by the fact that a very attractive Swedish girl liked me, and I was just like, oh my God, this is so great. What if I lose her? Oh my God, that's why I had anxiety, one-itis, all that bullshit. So that's the only green flag I saw. There was so many red flags that just were completely ignored. Now, you need to learn to set boundaries and stick to them. So in the pursuit of learning female nature, you're going to see, okay, well, when girls go to the club, they kiss other dudes, they do dumb shit, they're up dancing, guys are touching them. If that's what you're okay with, then fine. But me, hell no. My girl is not going to the club without me. We can go together, but she's not going to the club by herself. That's a boundary that I just have because I've seen what happens at clubs, and it's not good. It's just nothing productive comes if you want a good relationship. So if some girl says, no, I want to go to the club more than I want this relationship, then she really doesn't want it. And that's just something you got to learn. And there's going to be many examples of this that you're going to figure out over time that you're just going to start piecing together. Another one, this isn't really a boundary, but like a green flag. If a girl doesn't want to meet me for a cheap or free date, then I don't want her ass. See, about a year ago in Florida, a year and a half ago, I had a date to go to a sushi restaurant, a nice sushi restaurant with this girl who I met out. She was a nice girl, but when I had to, when something happened and we just had to cancel the sushi, and I said, let's just go to a rooftop and hang out there instead and we can just chat. She didn't want to go. She just liked the sushi. I don't know if she just wanted the free sushi. I don't know what she wanted, but when it turned into a date that was not involving me spending money on her, it was a red flag, and I didn't even care. I was like, okay, good, not interested in you. I've now been meeting a lot of girls for something like a simple walk by the river. I had a date like that on Sunday where I met a girl, we walked along the river, we sat down, we sat in the sun, we had a nice conversation, and that was a much better date. So there's many things that you're going to start to pick up on to see if a girl actually likes you for you, which is so essential. If a girl doesn't really like you for you, there's no point in developing a relationship with her. If she likes you enough, yeah, sleep with her, have a little bit of fun, learn from the experience, but don't be getting into relationships with girls who are not a good wife quality girl. That's the most important thing that you can take away from this, because if you do, you're going to get your heart broken and it's really going to suck. Now, that's where I want to leave things off with. And once again, boys, you need the Confidence Transformation Guide because this is going to help you in so many ways in your life that you wouldn't even imagine. This has allowed me to not only get with all these girls, talk to them, do all this stuff, but travel the world by myself, start successful businesses. This is my second successful online business that I've started within a year. These things only come from having confidence, having courage, having communication. And these are all things that you're going to develop by grabbing that Confidence Transformation Guide. Grab it right now, boys.